Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Jai Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Jai Prabhupada. Jai Jai नाम संकीर्तन की भक्त वृंद की श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Hare Krishna. Thank you, dear devotees, for joining us this evening. So today we'll dive into a topic from Srimad Bhagavatam. We will be emphasizing one specific story from Srimad Bhagavatam. However, before we begin, I would like to ask everyone, when we speak about an encounter with God amidst chaos or amidst crisis, does any incident come to your mind from Srimad Bhagavatam specifically? Sorry? Yeah. When we think of uh, uh, a surprise encounter with God amidst chaos or amidst some very critical situation, any story comes to your mind? Any incident from Bhagavatam or even Ramayana or from the Puranic literature? Sorry? Narad Muni's life. Narad Muni's previous life, you mean? And current. Any specific story? Yes, the whole Narad Muni's how he became a devotee, the chaos that his mother left him. He was the only child. Met some predators who planted the seed in his heart. At a mere 5 years old, goes out into the forest, sees the Lord only once, never sees him again, and only in the next life. Wow, beautiful. Yeah, thank you for reminding us of that. Any other incident from Bhagavatam, Ramayana, Mahabharata? Actually, I have multiple startup and we just had an encounter in the forest. They lived in that triangle somewhere, the hunter. Oh, the hunter who saw Narad Muni. Which hunter? I think there are multiple such hunters. Are you thinking of? Yes, there is Mrigari, and then there is the author of Ramayana, Valmiki. Yes, yeah. He later becomes Valmiki. Yeah, wonderful. Any other? Mm. Yes, yes, wonderful. And who encounters Krishna? Who sees Krishna? Parikshit Maharaj in his mother's womb. Yeah, wonderful. So imagine the Brahmastra had almost destroyed Parikshit Maharaj. The embryo was almost destroyed, but Krishna came and personally protected Parikshit Maharaj. Therefore, one name of Parikshit Maharaj is Vishnu Rat, he who was directly protected by Lord Vishnu. Yes, wonderful. Parikshit Maharaj, then hunters like Mrigari and Ratnakar, who later became Valmiki Muni, Narad Muni's previous life. Any other examples? Okay. So, today we are going to discuss a story from 12th canto of a great deluge, a great inundation. And in that inundation of water, one sage met with God. He saw Krishna. Which sage was this? Has anyone, by any chance, have you come across this story from Bhagavatam, 12th canto? This is the story of Markandeya Rishi. Very special personality. So many lessons to learn from this story. So Markandeya Rishi, he was a very pure-hearted soul. He lived the life of an ascetic, a monk, all his life. He led a very pure life, a life of restraint, refraining from all types of contaminating associations, and he wasn't after any bodily pleasures. Right from his uh, youth, or right from his childhood, he practiced celibacy. He lived under his guru's care, following the instructions of his guru, serving his guru, eating only when his guru uh, called him to eat. He led the life of a perfect disciple and a perfect celibate, a perfect ascetic. So he naturally, through this practice of austerity and devotion, he became very spiritually pure and close to Lord Krishna. At one point, when he had grown up as an adult sage, he had his own ashram. So one fine day, he was just continuing with his spiritual practices and suddenly encountered Nar Narayan Rishi, incarnation of God. However, this is not the encounter we are going to talk about today. The encounter we are going to talk about today is, you can see in that picture, the second picture from here. So, but Markandeya Rishi has two encounters with God. One is with Nar Narayan Rishi. So Nar Narayan Rishi, who are they? Narayan Rishi and Nar. Nar and Narayan, they are two sages. Narayan is Vishnu, Krishna himself, and Nar is a devotee, but an associate of the Lord. So the same Nar Narayan Rishis, who are they actually? Like Krishna and Arjuna. Yes, wonderful. Thank you, Mother. So Nar Narayan Rishi are the same personalities as Krishna and Arjuna. So Nar Narayan Rishi suddenly gave him a surprise. He came to his hermitage. So ecstatic did he feel on seeing Nar Narayan Rishi. He was sitting, doing his spiritual practices, sitting in deep meditation, and there you go. Directly sees Nar Narayan Rishi coming in front of him. What must be the ecstasy he must have felt? He immediately got up in reverence, folded his hands, and immediately, right after doing that, when somebody respectful, somebody who we really love and respect comes, we naturally want to stand. So he stood, and right after doing that, he immediately fell flat on the ground, offering dandavats. And then again he got up. His eyes were flooded with tears of joy. His hair was standing on end. His voice was choked. He was unable to speak. And with a choked voice, he could simply say, Namo Namaha, Namo Namaha. I offer you my humble obeisances. I offer you my humble obeisances. Namo Namaha, Namo Namaha. And then he offered them a seat. And Bhagavatam very beautifully describes the beauty of Narnara and Rishi, how effulgent they were, both of them, and how they carried sage's pot, kamandalu. They carried some purifying grass, representation of Vedic literature. They carried beads, chanting beads. They were simply effulgent. And it was like austerity personified. So Nar Narayan Rishi, they are the perfect example of austerity. And just like eh, when the Lord comes, he sets the perfect example of something and goes. So as Lord Ramchandra, he set the perfect example of a king, a leader. How should a leader be? How should a leader make sacrifices for others? So similarly, as Nar Narayan Rishi, the Supreme Lord, sets the perfect example of how austerity is to be done. So Bhagavatam describes Nar Narayan Rishi as austerity persona. And they were extremely pleased with all the austerities of Markandeya Rishi. And though these were not just some whimsical austerities, they were devotional austerities meant at pleasing the Lord. So then he makes them sit. He very lovingly washes their feet, uh, offers them puja, arti, whatever arti we offer on the altar. We offer incense, lamp, we offer flowers, we offer arghya. So he offered all these items of worship. He offered them sandalwood paste, offered them a garland, and then very lovingly making them sit on an elevated seat. He sitting by their feet. He began to offer prayers. Such wonderful are his prayers. He prays to them, O Lord, it is you who awaken the vital force within all living entity. So, who are we to describe you? You are the very source of our life. How can we describe you in words? So, yeah, this is one glorification, and many verses he speaks. His prayers are very beautiful, extremely beautiful. When we come across these prayers from Bhagavatam, this is something worth pausing and reflecting upon. How these devotees, when they offer prayers, how they ecstatically do so. They are not just mechanically saying something for the sake of saying. They are saying what they are actually feeling in their hearts. Very often, in our reading of scriptures, we tend to take prayers for granted. We tend to skip them. But if we simply approach prayers of great devotees with this attitude that, oh, this devotee who is offering this prayer is not just merely saying it, he's actually feeling it, he or she. Let me also put myself in the shoe of this devotee. Let me relish these prayers. So Narnarayan Rishi, they very graciously accepted the prayers of Markandeya Rishi. And then Narnarayan Rishi, one of the prayers Markandeya Rishi makes is all living entities, even great demigods, they fear the passage of time. But the only source of fearlessness is your lotus feet, your worship, seeking your blessings. So, Markandeya Rishi, he says, all living entities fear the passage of time. Isn't that true? Though we may apparently show ourselves to be fearless, confident, bold in many places, street smart, but all of us, if we carefully observe, we do fear the passage of time, somehow or the other. If we have any attachment in this world, naturally, we are going to fear the passage of time. There's one beautiful verse in uh, it's written by one Sanskrit poet. Bhoge roga bhayam, kule chuti bhayam, vitte nripalat bhayam, mane dainya bhayam, bale ripu bhayam, rupe jaraya bhayam. So he lists some 9 items. So what are they? I don't exactly remember the list of 9. Bhoge roga bhayam, one who is attached to enjoying bodily pleasures, fears disease, isn't it? One who is attached to family prestige. I come from a very great family. Those who proudly think of themselves to be belonging to a great lineage. What do they fear? They fear infamy. Those who are powerful, they fear somebody who is more powerful than them, and so on. Those who are attached to bodily beauty, they fear wrinkles and what else? Old age, basically. So everyone in this world fears passage of time. However, Markandeya Rishi is saying the only solution to this is taking shelter of your lotus feet. So this is one of his beautiful prayers. And then, after graciously accepting all his prayers, Nar Narayan Rishi, they offer him a benediction. Please ask me for something. We are very pleased with you. So then Markandeya Rishi, he genuinely expresses his desire. And we will shed some light on why is he asking for this desire. So Narnarayan Rishi says, oh Lord, I want to see your illusory potency, which keeps all living entities bound to this world, utterly attached to this world. You know, this world is described to is compared to a prison, but this is a prison without any bars. There are no bars. However, and nobody is forcefully blocking us here, but still we don't want to go out. Imagine a prison with all the doors open. Naturally, all prisoners would want to run out. But this material world, although it is compared to a prison house, nobody wants to go out of it. What are those bars? Those bars are invisible bars. So those bars are compared to our desires, our attachments to this world. So Markandeya Rishi expresses this desire. I want to see that wonderful illusory potency of yours, which strongly binds living entities to this material world. So, living entities just don't want to go out of here, although they are tormented here. I don't want to go out. What is it? I want to see that. So, okay, Narnarayan Rishi says, Tathastu. So be it. It will be fulfilled. And then Markandeya Rishi, he continued with his sadhana, with his spiritual practices. Every day he would meditate on the Lord, pray to him, and he would also remember that the Lord's the Lord may fulfill my desire in some mysterious ways. So he was mentally prepared. Anything may happen. The Lord has promised to show me how his illusory potency works. So he may fulfill it anytime. By the way, I forgot to share one detail. Before he met Narnarayan Rishi, the king of all demigods, what's his name? Indra, the king of heaven. Yeah. He uh, he wanted to test Markandeya Rishi. So he sent Cupid, uh, and the retinue of Cupid includes lots of beautiful women, all the heavenly damsels. So it is said uh, even the least beautiful heavenly damsel is more beautiful than the most beautiful woman on this earth. So Indra, the king of demigods, sent the most beautiful women to test Markandeya Rishi. Now, as we go through this story, dear devotees, let's remember one thing. Many times when we listen to these descriptions from the scriptures, we may think, oh, this is all impossible. We don't see it right now. Well, if we carefully think, practically everything we see around, even right now, it's a sheer miracle. If we have the eyes, if we have the humility to see it, we will practically see a miracle around us at every moment. So, no wonder when, if God can give man the ability to construct big buildings, if God can give man the ability to construct Commonwealth Avenue, uh, to construct nice parks and all, why can't God, if God can Himself create so many beautiful rivers, trees, Niagara Falls, what's the big surprise when God does some other extraordinary things which we don't see with our eyes? What's the difficulty in accepting them? Even what we see with our eyes is practically a miracle if we carefully see. So, why should we dismiss everything as just some fairy tale or some myth, some mythology which cannot be true? If God is glorious, God can do anything. Anything wonderful is possible in God's creation. So, yes, the king of demigods had tested Markandeya Rishi by sending beautiful, but he wasn't moved at all. Rather, at one point, they felt if we meddle with him too much, maybe he'll get angry with us and we may get burnt by his. If at all he gets angry with us, we have no hope. So they all ran away. So he had passed such a test. Even the most beautiful women couldn't shake his mind. So now, after this incident, Markandeya Rishi meets Narnarayan Rishi, and then he asks for this desire. He expresses this desire. Oh Lord, I want to see your illusory potency that keeps all living entities shackled in this world. So, and then one fine day, he was waiting. So suddenly, he sees dark clouds. It starts raining, and the rain just doesn't stop. And it wasn't raining just drops; it was raining pillars of water. So that rain was completely inundating. So then he saw that oceans are coming from all directions and inundating all land. And then his own hermitage got completely inundated with the deluge of water that came. And then Markandeya Rishi, he was struggling somehow. Uh, the water, it wasn't still or calm water, it was very turbulent water. Hmm? Shaking, like imagine taking a bucket of water and violently shaking it. You won't see still water anymore, right? Similarly, imagine an entire ocean being shaken violently. That's how the situation was. So Markandeya Rishi, he kept swimming in that deluge, kept swimming, swimming. Now, it is said he swam for years. Somehow, by God's arrangement, by Lord Krishna's arrangement, any normal human being cannot survive such an experience. Even the most expert swimmer, no matter how much they swim, they cannot swim for a long time, no matter how expert they are. But the way Krishna created this situation for Markandeya Rishi is such that he kept swimming. He got tired also because of that, but he just did not die. He just did not sink. Hmm? So he could stay afloat and he kept swimming. As he swam in that deluge, it is said he swam for years and years. He saw big, big fish around him. He saw sharks. And the scriptures, Vedic scriptures describe one fish, particular fish called Timingala. In Sanskrit, Timi means whale. And Timingala is a fish that can easily swallow a whale. So you can imagine the size of that fish. That fish doesn't come out easily. It usually stays very deep in the oceans. And sometimes it may come out. And there are even incidents, like, for example, there was one French captain bringing a lot of wealth to India, to one of the churches. Looks like it was a part of some Christian missionary program in India, some 2-3 centuries ago. And as they were crossing the Bay of Bengal, which is an ocean by India's side, they saw turbulence, turbulent storm coming, and they even saw a big fish with its mouth open coming toward that ship. And those who saw that, they could easily feel that this fish can easily swallow the entire ship. Probably that fish was Timingala. Doesn't come out usually, but this is a documented story. And how? Then what happened? There was a man on that ship who was intensely praying to Jagannath. And then the captain of the ship, he saw everyone is panicking, but just this man is very calmly sitting. So he asked him, "What are you doing here? Are you not afraid?" Then that man very uh, nonchalantly replied that life or death, they are all in Jagannath's hand. He had a picture of Jagannath. And then this French captain of the ship, he said, "Okay, if your Jagannath can save us today, then I'll understand that he is really powerful. I make a promise. I'll offer everything to Jagannath." And then, okay, fine. The man accepted, and yeah. So this captain, he just made an empty promise. He thought, oh, nothing can happen. And then finally, when he saw that the storm as well as that fish was approaching very close, then he also intensified in his prayer and he asked that man to pray further and even more fervently. And then, surprisingly, the storm vanished and even that fish vanished. The fish did not vanish, the fish changed its direction. It was coming with full speed, about to swallow that ship, but it changed its course and the ship was saved. And guess what? That French captain actually donated everything on that ship to Lord Jagannath because Jagannath Puri was nearby. They were still around Jagannath Puri. They intended to go to South India. That he donated one big bell, a French bell, which is still there in Jagannath. So imagine he was coming for some Christian missionary work. He ended up donating all that wealth to Lord Jagannath. So, anyways, yeah, there are these Timingala fishes, which are So there are these big fishes which are described in the Vedic scriptures. Maybe man may discover them someday, going deeper and deeper into the oceans. So they can directly even swallow a whale. That big is their mouth. You can imagine their stomach. So, so Markandeya Rishi, he saw Timingalas, sharks, just violently uh, moving around him, attacking each other, and even threatening to attack him. But somehow he did not die. Why? What is happening right now? He had asked for a desire. I want to see that illusory potency of yours. So that desire was being fulfilled. So then Markandeya Rishi, after he swam for a long, long time in this deluge, he came across an island. That island was like a hope for him. He immediately saw that island was like life for him. He was so tired, fatigued, thirsty. He felt diseased. He almost felt like dying also. Now, as we are describing this, I'm sure all of us may have this question in our mind. Why is such a pure sage going through such a difficulty, such a tribulation? We will see that. So, Markandeya Rishi, then he saw one island. He swam toward that island and somehow took shelter of that island. And he came there. And there was practically nothing else on that island. He just saw one singular banyan tree on that island. There was nothing else on that island. He came closer to that banyan tree. It had big leaves. On one of the leaves, he saw something most charming, or rather, someone most charming who captured his heart. He came closer. He saw a beautiful bluish baby on that leaf. That baby was most charming and enchanting. We have a picture there. So, that form of Lord Krishna as a baby lying on a banyan leaf, that is called any, I'm sure Prabhu would know. Anyone else? What? Vatapatrashai Krishna. So, yes, it's that form. So, uh, Markandeya Rishi saw this beautiful bluish complexion baby on a banyan leaf. And as he kept coming closer and admiring that boy, he felt like all his fatigue is vanishing. It's going away. Felt such relief. It's like a weary traveler traveling through the desert, coming across an oasis. So seeing that beautiful form of Krishna was just drove away all his fatigue, all his uh, the diseased state he was feeling, and he felt such joy, such bliss in his heart. So when he came closer to observe that boy, then he saw who was that boy, Lord Krishna himself. Then Lord Krishna, very charmingly, like a small baby would do, he picked up his right or left foot. Yeah, one of his, oh, left foot. Yes, you can refer to the picture. Lord Krishna picked up his left foot and he sucked uh, his left foot's thumb. And that sight was most charming to Markandeya Rishi. He was still trying to fathom what is going on. I was just struggling so much, and now here I am seeing this very charming boy was kept. Markandeya Rishi never had a baby. He was a celibate all his life. But yet he felt some irresistible attraction toward this baby. Now, in this world, we find children cute, right? Anyone here finds children cute? Practically, all of us. Children have this charming quality. They really lighten up the atmosphere. Now, one devotee gave me some amazing perspective. I can never forget this. So, children in this world, they themselves are very cute and charming. Imagine when God plays his leelas, pastimes as a child, how charming that would be. Hmm? We cannot even imagine actually. And on top of that, now one devotee gave this amazing perspective. I can never forget this. So, ordinary children, they don't purposely act cute, right? Do they intentionally want to give pleasure to others? They just go around their own way, and their childish or childlike ways just gives joy to others. But God, intentionally to give joy to his devotees, he acts like a child, plays wonderful leelas. How charming that would be. God does it with a specific intent to increase his devotees' joy. How charming that would be. So, yes, Markandeya Rishi was trying to make sense of it all. What's happening? Who is this boy? And then, as he was thinking, admiring that small baby boy, that baby suddenly inhaled, and through his nostril, Markandeya Rishi was sucked in. So that's the glory of Lord Krishna. Does this remind of uh, some some pastime from Bhagavatam where Lord Krishna showed the entire universe to somebody? Anyone new to the temple? Anyone coming for the first time? Okay. Or yeah, would someone like to point out any pastime, any leela of Lord Krishna where one devotee sees the entire universe inside Lord Krishna's mouth? Hmm? Who is that? Mother Yashoda. Yes. In what context? Maybe let's give a chance to someone else. In what context does Mother Yashoda see that? Yes. Yes, yeah. He ate some uh, mud, some dirt from the ground. And his friends and Balramji went and complained, oh, he ate dirt. Mother Yashoda was concerned for him. She asked, can you open your mouth and show me? And when Krishna opens his mouth, sees the entire universe. So, nothing is impossible for God, Krishna. So, here in this, coming back to our story of Markandeya Rishi, Lord Krishna inhaled him and he went inside. And there, inside Lord Krishna's stomach, Markandeya Rishi saw everything normal. He saw trees, he saw rivers, he saw human civilization, he saw his own ashram, everything he saw as it was before that inundation. Everything was normal in Lord Krishna's stomach. Hmm? And then, as he, yeah, as he thought everything is back to normal, he was back in his ashram. So once again, Lord Krishna then exhaled, and Markandeya Rishi was thrown out again, came out of Lord Krishna's nostril, baby Krishna's nostril. And then Markandeya Rishi, he saw, oh, again, he was on that island. And that inundation, which he had struggled in amidst for years and years, that chaos, that crisis he was struggling amidst for years and years, he saw everything is back again, back in that same situation. Then he realized, who is this boy? He is the master of this whole creation. He is the master of this whole illusion. And as soon as he realized, oh, this is my Lord, this is my master, coming in this beautiful baby form, his he got an intense desire to go and hug Krishna. And by the way, before he did that, yeah, right after Krishna exhaled and Markandeya Rishi was back on that island, when Markandeya Rishi was looking at him, trying to make sense of it all, before it struck him, Lord Krishna had even, through the corner of his eye, blinked at him like this. You blink. No? There's one emoji also on WhatsApp, blinking. So Lord Krishna very charmingly blinked at him. Markandeya Rishi heart was fully captivated. Markandeya Rishi, he his love for Krishna became so intense in this situation. Hmm? He never complained, "Oh, why did you do this with me?" He saw all of that struggle as a small price to pay to get this beautiful darshan of Krishna. Right? When Lord Krishna blink, what is that called? Winking. No? When Krishna uh, winked at him, Markandeya Rishi, he felt so enamored by Krishna, he ran toward Krishna to hug him, to embrace that baby. Can you imagine? When we see cute children, we may want to caress them and show some affection, right? So, but imagine God coming as a small baby. How charming that would be. Markandeya Rishi had an intense desire. That sense controlled celibate who never interacted with a woman, never had a child. He was intensely attracted to this baby. This wasn't some sensual type of attraction. Oh, cute little baby. This was love for God. His love for God had fully matured now. Even he was a lover of God even earlier, but there are stages. Now his love for God had fully matured after this experience. And he went to hug Krishna. He ran toward Krishna. Krishna disappeared. And then, uh, again, that deluge, it all uh, receded. Everything vanished. And Markandeya Rishi, suddenly, he was brought back to his ashram. Then he realized, what was all this? This was all. I had asked the Lord to show me how his illusory energy works, and he showed it to me. So this was all a part of his plan to help me grow. I had asked for that desire. So, and he fulfilled that desire in such a wonderful way. Markandeya Rishi had absolutely no complaint. Oh Krishna, why did you make me go through this? It was a struggle. What he went through was truly chaotic. What a crisis it was. Imagine having to swim for so long, seeing these deadly, monstrous fishes like Timingala, sharks. Wasn't easy, but he did not complain. And then, yeah, he continued living. Now he had become an upgraded version of himself spiritually. And one fine day he was meditating, and Lord Shiva and Parvati were traveling through skyways. And Parvati Devi, she said to Lord Shiva, "Oh my Lord, look at this great sage. He is so controlled and so determined. He's so pure hearted. Let's go and give him some benediction." And Lord Shiva said to Parvati Devi, "Oh Parvati, I'm sure this sage doesn't need anything. He doesn't want anything from us. He's so satisfied in his devotion to Lord Hari. But nevertheless, let us go and take his association." Lord Shiva, he is desiring the association of Markandeya Rishi. So, yeah, Lord Shiva says, let us go and take his association. After all, association of such great devotees is the highest benefit a man can achieve. That's the greatest benefit. So, uh, Lord Shiva himself, he himself is a great devotee of Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna. He is the greatest Vaishnava. Vaishnavanam Yadhacham. Bhagavatam calls Lord Shiva as the greatest devotee of Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna. And the nature of great devotees is that they truly value other devotees as well. They don't get into petty quarrels and bickering over small things. They truly value other devotees. The nature of a great devotee is that he or she sees other devotees as better than himself or herself. So Lord Shiva, he said to Parvati Devi, I'm sure he doesn't want anything from us. He has no material desires. He is already very pure. But still, nevertheless, let's go to meet him. We will derive happiness out of meeting him. Association of such great saintly devotees is the greatest benefit one can have. And then Lord Shiva and Parvati go there. But Markandeya Rishi was so absorbed in meditating on Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, that he doesn't notice Lord Shiva has come. So Lord Shiva is very pleased to see that. So Lord Shiva, nevertheless, he wants to have some conversation with Markandeya Rishi. He, in a subtle form, he enters the heart of Markandeya Rishi. Markandeya Rishi was already in a trance. So in his trance, he sees Lord Shiva. And then he realizes, oh, there is someone here. Then he opens his eyes and he sees Lord Shiva and Parvati Devi standing in front of him. And then what a beautiful conversation they have. They glorify each other mutually. That's the nature of great devotees. When they come together, they glorify Lord Krishna and they even praise each other. They value each other deeply. What's that verse from Bhagavad Gita? Where Lord Krishna describes what do two devotees do when they come and meet each other. You may no need to quote Sanskrit if you can even paraphrase. Sorry, they embrace each other. Okay, wonderful. But there is something they discuss pastimes of the Lord. Yeah. Matchitta madgata prana bodhayantah paraspara kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti charaman. The thoughts of my pure devotees always dwell in me, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss by enlightening one another about me and always conversing about me. So yes, Markandeya Rishi and Lord Shiva, they discussed, glorified Lord Krishna, they glorified each other, and yeah, Lord Shiva left from them. And then Lord Shiva was describing to Parvati Devi, do you know what he just went through some time ago? He describes that whole episode of Markandeya Rishi getting caught up in that deluge and then seeing this beautiful baby form of Krishna. Now, some questions may come up here. I myself had these questions and I consulted one senior devotee who gave beautiful answers to this. One question is, first of all, why would Markandeya Rishi ask for such a benediction? My Lord, I want to see your illusory energy. The answer to that is to further increase, to further upgrade himself in his appreciation of God, appreciation of Krishna. That, my Lord, how wonderful is your illusory energy that keeps shackled, that keeps everyone shackled in this world. So even though you are so glorious, why don't living entities actually, God is the most irresistibly attractive personality. Yet, how ironical it is that we may run after some celebrities or some member of the opposite gender. We may get infatuated. It's quite ironical, actually. But so, pure devotees who have realized the glory of God, of Krishna, they find it very ironical and amazing. Oh, what is this? Even though God is the most irresistibly attractive personality, how can somebody get attracted to something like this? Those who are spiritually advanced, no, they see material pleasures as no better than drinking a cup of sewage, dirty substance, sewage or sewer, whatever it's called. So they are relishing the nectar of loving God to such an extent. So yes, Markandeya Rishi, he wants to understand this illusory energy of the Lord. The intention was to grow in his appreciation. Now, another question may come up. Why would Krishna test him in this way? The natural question I had in my mind is the most powerful form of illusion is attraction to the opposite gender. Literally consumes one mind to such an extent. That phenomena called falling in love literally completely consumes one's consciousness. It's a very powerful feeling, that feeling of infatuation. So And it is also said in the scriptures, it's the most binding form of desires in this world. So, one natural thought I had in my mind, okay, if Krishna wanted to show his illusory potency to Markandeya Rishi, maybe he could have sent some more beautiful women than what Indra had sent. So, however, now the display that Lord Krishna showed to Markandeya Rishi was very appropriate to his need. Markandeya Rishi, and please listen to this carefully, it's very relevant for us. Because all of us may be struggling with certain types of desires. We may get enamored by certain types of things in this world, which may consume our consciousness. So Markandeya Rishi, he was living in an era where mysticism was very prominent. There were lots of saints and sages that time who were very advanced in their mystic siddhis, mystic powers. They had many mystic powers. And Lord Krishna, the display he showed Markandeya Rishi, it basically showed how among all mystics, Krishna is the greatest mystic. One name of Krishna is Yogeshwar, the Ishwar of all yogis. He's the greatest of all yogis. He's the greatest of all mystics. In fact, all mystic powers that anyone may have in this world come from the Lord. So one of his names is Yogeshwar. So yes, Markandeya Rishi was living in an era where mysticism was very prominent. That was like a career, hot career path. So now, if you compare it with today's times, we may be enamored by rags to riches stories, right? Somebody starting a startup, struggling and becoming a billionaire somehow, hitting a good fortune and becoming a billionaire. We may get enamored by such stories, right? And we may start saluting to such people. Our consciousness becomes consumed by such people. And we think this is the way of life, this is the goal of life. Now imagine God coming to somebody like this in the form of the greatest entrepreneur. And if God comes as an entrepreneur, who can beat God? There was an era 500 years ago where scholarship was very prominent. Becoming a scholar and showing one's scholastic abilities was very highly valued in the society. And in such times, God incarnated and he defeated all other scholars. Which incarnation are we talking about? Yes, thank you, Shri Krishna Prabhu, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, when it's an era of warriors and kshatriyas, God incarnates as one among kshatriyas. And when he displays his prowess, who can beat him? Similarly, here, Markandeya Rishi lived in an era where mysticism was very prominent. Krishna came and showed the biggest of all mysticisms. That whole inundating ocean was all a mystic display of Krishna's potency. And when Markandeya Rishi realized, oh, it's this same boy. This same boy is responsible for all this mystic display. His attraction even intensified toward Krishna. So similarly, no matter what we may get enamored by the phenomena around us, somebody may be enamored by some nice, attractive members of the opposite gender. Somebody may be enamored by very successful businessmen, and one may day and night think of them. One may think of how I can also climb the ladder and reach that level of success. But yet, when we realize, oh, behind all this is the wonderful hand of that beautiful, charming Lord Krishna, our hearts can also become filled with love for Krishna. Oh, behind all these beautiful young women, behind their beauty is the beautiful hand of Lord Krishna. Oh, behind these enamoring rags to riches success stories is the hand of Lord Krishna. Otherwise, we are all helpless, conditioned souls. Somebody may, again, even those who become billionaires become so by the grace of God. So we are not enamored by either success or somebody's technology. So end in maybe 5 minutes. So we can learn one beautiful thing from Hanumanji. Hanumanji, when he was in search of Mother Sita, he went to Lanka. It was an arduous search actually because he had no picture of Sita Devi and no exact Google Maps location. He had to search for Mother Sita in amidst thousands of women. So he had even searched for Mother Sita in the palace of Ravan. So at one point he came across Jai Shri Radha ki Jai, Shri Gauri ki, Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maiya ki Jai, Jai Gaur Premanand. Yeah. So yeah, we'll just end in 2 3 minutes. So, okay, yeah, we need to start the kirtan. So, so let's all participate with full enthusiasm. We will have kirtan of the holy names. We will sing Lord Krishna's holy names. This is a very wonderful way of celebrating God's glories. Please join.
Vishnu Prasthaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta